Hey, Steve Mignani here with some really good junkyard news. If you're going to be anywhere near Sherman, Texas on March 24th and 25th, know that there's going to be an outdoor auction put on by duncansauctions.com of over 200 solid Texas parts vehicles. There's going to be Fords, GM, Mopar, lots of tractors, and even forklifts. These things all have to go. It's an online auction, but also an on-site auction. If you happen to be in Sherman, Texas, you can go and bid in person or again, online, but all 200 vehicles have to go. Don't let them get crushed. To learn more about this auction, which happens on March 24th and 25th of 2023, check it out on duncansauctions.com. And keep in mind, if you're seeing this after March 24th or 25th, 2003, the auction's over with. But before then, make sure you check it out and save some of these cars. Don't let them go to the crusher. Hey, Steve Mignani here at Bernardston Auto Wrecking in Bernardston, Massachusetts, with the 25th and final installment of the Hubcap Game. The magic Hubcap van has pretty much given its final yield. We're almost running out of hubcaps, so there's room for one more episode. Let's get started. Okay, this is cool. This is 4x4. If you know your Jeep Eagle, like your Eagle, the four-wheel drive pickup truck, well, not the pickup truck, the Spirit, the Eagle Spirit, the Concorde, those things. This is from 80 through 85, when American Motors put all-wheel drive under like the Hornet, basically, and the Gremlin kind of sort of, and came up with those Eagle all-wheel drive vehicles. These sold like mad in New England. Crazy wheel cover. Looks like it's aluminum or some exotic material, but it's just plastic. But again, these things were very durable. These didn't crack in cold weather, pretty tough stuff. But if you lived in New England, you knew these wheel covers on all-wheel drive passenger car Eagles from the early 1980s. Okay, let's go back to about 1971 or two, full-size Chevrolet, again, a fake wheel cover. Fake wire wheel, I should say. It looks the part, sort of this sort of center cap deal right here, but this is purely an illusion, if you will. Hundreds of pieces probably to make this thing up, but this would have been seen on a full-size Caprice or Impala. Again, full-size Chevrolet, early 70s, 15-inch wheel. Kind of gives me good memories. I like those. Okay. Dodge Dakota pickup truck, probably a four-wheel drive. This would have been on the front for the locking hubs, but possibly a Dodge pickup, mid-80s, right when they went to the Ram nomenclature. But again, 15-incher, very basic, stamped stainless steel, the little center cap right here, again for the front-wheel drive, or the all-wheel drive for the locking hubs on the front, but almost certainly. But look at the fake lug holes, not even, just a suggestion of a lug. Kind of weird, but yeah, almost certainly Dakota / Dodge D-Series pickup trucks from the 1980s. Okay, this kind of looks like a Chevy or a GM, but this is almost certainly 1958 Plymouth Belvedere. In fact, the Fury could have had a wheel cover kind of like this too in 58. One-piece stamping, 14-inch wheel, again, 1955 or 6, 7, I think it was. Plymouth went to 14-inch wheels for a lower overall profile, whatever it took. Even a 14-inch wheel instead of 15, we'll do it, says Plymouth and Chrysler. But again, 1958 Plymouth Belvedere, Savoy kind of car right there. Okay, this is kind of cool. I'm going to say this right here would be a Chevy Camaro wheel cover right here from 1967, debut year, maybe 68. But again, we can see the Chevrolet logo right there, very sporting. And this, of course, has the ice option on it right there. But again, it's a one-piece stamping pretty much with a glued-in logo for the Chevrolet Camaro, but this would have been seen on a Camaro Sport Coupe, whatever. Not a Z28, not an SS, but again, 67 or 8 Camaro deluxe wheel cover right there. Oh, okay, Super Sport o'clock right here. 1964 Impala Super Sport. And you gotta love how it also has the fake center lock wheel. 3 bars for the spinner effect right there. Multi-piece construction on this one here. We can see it's got a stainless center, lots of galvanized steel here and on the outer clips. 14-inch, no 15s at this point in time, but again, this is definitely 64 Impala SS right here. Kind of cool. Was it a 409? Was it a 6? Who knows? You could get anything from a 6-banger to a 409 and 64 in your Impala SS. They weren't just big blocks at that point in time. Okay, let's move it into the late 70s, early 80s. Buick front-wheel drive. I believe this was the Skylark. Skylark? What was it? The Skyhawk? Front-wheel drive Buicks. This is basically the X car, Buick's version thereof of the Chevy Citation. These are kind of interesting. A little bit of an anodized, I shouldn't say that, it's a textured paint, this sort of Zolatone or argent, if you will, with sort of the chrome highlighted. But this is a one-piece structure with just the center cap adhered from the other side. Right there, the Buick Tri-Shield. I guess, yeah, this is actually a little add-on hoop to grab the wheel. But again, these remind me very much of General Motors' major switch to front-wheel drive in the late 70s, early 80s, like 80, 81, is when these things would have been seen on front-drop Buicks, compact cars. All right, this here speaks for itself. Thunderbird, I want to say 1972 Ford Thunderbird, 15-inch. This is when the Thunderbird and the Lincoln Continental Mark or something like that shared their bones and basic frame construction. But again, this is seen on the basic Thunderbird right here, and the little logo right there. Not shared on any other Ford. However, the styling of this thing kind of looks like 68 full-sized Oldsmobile. Really, this stuff right here showing that, you know, not every idea is new when it comes out. But again, 72 3 Thunderbird right here. And again, this thing probably sat in a gas line in 1973 when in, I think, November of 73, the OPEC oil crisis hit, and people with big cars were singing the blues because they could only get $5 worth a gallon or 5 gallons of gas at a given time. This car probably sat in a line when it was new. Waiting for gas. All right, more from the Buick world right here. Probably 63 Buick full-size right here, maybe a Wildcat, probably an Electra 225, something like that. But again, the same basic wheel cover could be utilized on a Stripper or a Sabre without the add-on, bolt-on fins that we see right here. So the same stamping minus these things was cheap. The stamping with these things became the upscale, maybe Electric 225 or something like that. Kind of cool, but Buick Tri-Shield, 15-inch wheels right here. Could have been an aluminum 12-inch drum brake behind this thing on the front. That was certainly a possibility on big Buicks from 1960 through 58 through 68, 69, something like that. So maybe an aluminum drum behind this thing on the front. Who knows? All right. Right here, 1968 Chevy Nova, but also this wheel cover used on full-size Chevrolets for a good couple of years. But again, this I believe would be a 1968 Chevy Nova type wheel cover, 14-incher, multi-piece construction with apparently this glue. This might have gotten loose. I'm thinking, yeah, somebody cobbled this together. That's two-stage body putty right there that somebody used to restore the integrity of the plastic center, which was probably rattling around. And these are the wheel covers. Yeah, this might even be a 64 Impala. It's kind of throwing me a curve. I think this is probably Impala, 64 Impala full size. Anyway, but we used to take these, when these things come out, put rocks in this thing, and a guy would drive off. When he slowed down, he'd hear this rattling noise. We were bad little kids. More Chevrolet right here, 63 full-size Chevy, similar in concept. The lucite center, we see right here, into the one-piece stamping of stainless, and it's held in, again, with these little tabs. This one here, some adhesive. Not sure if that's factory or somebody's effort to quiet this, but these would quite often start to rattle as they got loose. Maybe they chucked and the plastic would eventually get chewed by the tabs. They'd start to have a lash and make noise, so folks would often cobble them together to quiet them down at slow speeds. Oh yeah, if you like your Chevy Monte Carlos, here it is right here, 1973, the second gen Monte Carlo. This is the base wheel cover on one of those. We can see the guy, the Monte Carlo fellow there coming right at you. And in fact, let me see if this one has, no, it doesn't. In 1971 and 2, the Monte Carlo crest has the Roman numerals of the model year on the shield. Now, they got rid of it for 73, but that's a little detail a lot of folks don't realize. 1971 and 2, Monte Carlos, the year 71 or 72, 19, is spelled out in Roman numerals on the shield. But again, by 73, the same guy was used, the Centurion or whoever that guy is. But again, this is the wheel cover you'd see on a 73 Chevy Monte Carlo, 14-inch wheel. Oh, okay. I'm feeling rather regal. This is an American Motors Ambassador wheel cover right here. and this is a one-piece stamping, would have been 1966, I would say. The argent paint, textured stuff, kind of cool. The blackout effect right here, giving the look at a distance of an exotic aluminum drum with a slot for cooling without the expense. It's a one-piece stamping. Of course, has the outer steel or iron-based ferrous metal, if you will, hoop right here, which is starting to rot away. But again, the core piece is still in very good condition. But again, 1966 American Motors Ambassador. Okay, Oldsmobile. 1968 or 9. Certainly 9, maybe 8, Olds Cutlass. I think also seen on full-size Del Monte 88 type cars, the big guys. Pretty, you know, the basic GM Deluxe hubcap for the Olds line, seen again on mid-size and full-size cars. But 68, 69 Cutlass is almost certainly where this is from. Oldsmobile, loud and proud, rather than small letters in the middle, very big. Probably a brave decision in the styling department to say, yeah, let's do that. Kind of unique, not a lot of designs this big with the name that flat. There it is, Oldsmobile right there. Chevrolet right here, the Caprice. Let's fix this one here. Sometimes when you get a dent in it, you can just do that, and it's all good. Voila. Man, my ears are bleeding. But again, Chevy Caprice, 1966, I would have to say. Look at the dome effect on that thing. Pretty crazy. Not seen on like the Impala, but again, the Chevy Caprice would have been Chevrolet's executive level Chevy, available in a 4-door or 2-door with its own roof, the 2-door, not an Impala, not a Bel Air, a very different car. Could be had with a small block V8 or a 396 or even a 427 in 1966. You got to wonder if this thing was spun by a 427 at some point in its life. It ain't talking. Let's see, we're getting close to the end. Again, the problem is the hubcap van is kind of running out of morsels. But as we get close to the end, Ford hubcap right here. This is going to be an early 1960s Ford pickup truck. Half-tonner probably. There was also a 3/4 tonner, and they had a bigger hub, deeper, to cover up the full floating rear axle. But again, a half-ton Ford pickup truck right here. Now here's the funny thing. These things in the later 60s were rendered in stainless steel. They didn't rust like this, but again, this is a 2-piece structure right here. It's crimped there and has a different inner. It's possible that this outer skin was used on different wheel types, and they could use the same outer stamping with different wheels based on what inner they put on it. But if you look at it, there's little drains right here to allow moisture to drain out. If you go under a puddle or something like that, it won't get stuck inside. So there's 3 little tabs right here that allow water to get out instead of rusting, which didn't seem to work that good. This thing's rotting away. Paint's still decent, but again, this is painted. That's the way they look from the factory. I've seen some of these with the word Ford rendered in like a matte red. This one's not one of them. I think that was done depending on what model year. But again, Ford pickup right there, 2-wheel drive. And hitting the bottom of the barrel, folks. How about this thing? All right, here we go. This is kind of cool. Chrysler disc brake right here. 1966, I believe, was the first year for optional disc brakes on the front of Chrysler passenger cars, maybe late 65. But anyway, this same wheel cover was also used in 1968, 69 on Chargers and a variety of other cars, but with a red colored center. So by changing the center to suit the application, the outer could still be used. It's a one-piecer with this big plastic insert in the back. Metal ring to keep it in place. I don't see any signs of rattling or anti-rattling. And this one also has a bit of a dent in it, so let's try and, yeah, not so fast. Anyway, but if it's a 69 Hemi Charger, you can actually use this outer with the Dodge specific center and really raise some eyebrows. These are cool looking wheels, full wheel cover right here. Well, that wraps it up for the Hubcap Game. 25 installments. We've emptied the magic Hubcap van. It's been really fun. But now it's time for me and Rudolph Dieselhead to meander off into the desert or forest, you choose. But we'll be back tomorrow with more Junkyard Crawl here at Burns & Auto Wrecking. Until then, hasta mañana.